The City of Menasha is pleased to present video recordings of City Council and City Committee meetings. Menasha residents and interested parties can get information about city meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents from the city website, www.menashawi.gov. Expression of opinions regarding City of Menasha issues or about these broadcasts can be made by contacting the Mayor's office, 920-967-3608. Contacting their city alderman. Contact information appears on the city website. Or by completing the electronic feedback form on the city website. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited.
Good evening. I'd like to call the City of Menasha Common Council meeting to order. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we could have the roll, please.
Alderman Tom Grotti. Here. Alderman Ted Grotti.
Here.
Alderman Rapella is absent. Alderman Nichols.
Here.
Alderman Eisenach.
Here.
Alderman Sednick.
Here.
Alderman Hammond.
Here.
And Alderman Lewis is also absent.
Thank you. The first item on the agenda tonight is the report of department head, staff, and consultants. We have the minutes and communications. Do we have a motion? Alderman Sednick.
Thank you, Mayor. At this time, I'd like for us to receive minutes A through F and communications G through J.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Aye. Are there any opposed? The motion carries. Item F is public comment. Is there anyone who wishes to make a public comment this evening?
Hi there, Sandra DeVille Taylor, 545 Broad Street. I've just come with more questions. I'm going to begin with the administration committee because there's no area for public comment. I just wanted to ask, prior to approving the resolution with the city of De Pere for mutual assistance for environmental services, I'm assuming this primarily relates to our sanitarian, Todd Drew. He does a fabulous job. And I just want to be assured, both for his sake and the residents of Menasha, that this is not going to be spreading his services too thin, that he can actually handle being able to fill in for this. I would hate to lose such a great employee for being overworked or overstressed. Then back to the regular agenda. At the previous committee meeting level, I had asked a few questions, so I'll try to keep tonight brief. The first is regarding the option for employees to opt out of the insurance program. After the committee meeting, I had sent the city attorney a list of questions, like 10 questions. For clarification, I didn't receive anything back. But I do recall Alderman Sevenet requesting further information prior to tonight's meeting, and there was nothing new included in your packet. So I guess I just want to go back to what I had said at committee level, that I feel as an employer, it's your obligation to insure your employees. And by offering this, first of all, I would actually suggest that you hold it or table it until such time that you receive what your new rates are going to be for the coming year and what options for health insurance you're going to make available, because all that is up in the air and you're not going to get that information until the end of September. If you held off on this, then the employees could be provided a complete package and know what they're looking at and could make an informed decision at that time. Now you're pretty much throwing this out there, requesting that they opt out before they even know what their choices are. That would be my first suggestion. And then, secondly, I really am curious as to how it is going to save the city money. The memo had a range of roughly $70,000 to $90,000 that the city would save if employees use this option by opting out of the insurance. But is that based on premiums that the city is paying? Because the way that this firm is going to get paid is the savings that are going to come from, I had it written down, what the premium is minus what the city's contribution is, minus what their payment is and their supplementary bonus. And if there is no savings, they get paid nothing. But there has to be a savings for them to receive their fee. So all the savings is going to this other firm rather than back to the city, if I'm understanding this correctly. So I don't know where we're saving money, honestly. There was a ton of questions I had. I'm not going to go into them. Maybe the attorney can address them because she has my email. A lot of it has to do with family coverage, because that's basically what you're trying to get rid of, are those employees that have family coverage. And state statutes regulates which spouse is to carry the family coverage. And also, if the city plan has language in it that would preclude someone from doing just the opposite of what you're trying to accomplish, that someone else could come into our plan because they opted out of their spouse's plan. And there was a lot of other questions, but I just ask that you hold this until you get more information on what the big picture is going to be, and if it's really going to save the city money, and if it's really the right thing to do. I did have a question regarding the liquor license renewal. On the application, or the liquor license, you either need to be the owner of the property, a licensed voter of the city, or if you're leasing the property, you have to have a lease exceeding 1 year. None of that was spelled out on the application, so I'm just curious if they qualify. And I did want to also, whoever these individuals are that are going to take over this, that they do not qualify for an outdoor beer garden because they are in the vicinity of residential properties, and that location has had outdoor activities in the past.
We're at 5.5 minutes now.
Okay, thank you. I could go on. Have a good night.
Thanks. Is there anyone else who wishes to comment at this time? No? Seeing no one else, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Alderman Sevenick.
Thank you, Mayor. At this time, I'll move that we approve the Common Council minutes of 8/21/23.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Are there any opposed? Seeing none, the motion carries. Do we have a motion for item 2? Alderman Nichols.
Thank you, Mayor. Move to approve the Administration Committee's recommendation to select option number 1 and instruct the cities and instruct CVMIC staff regarding payment of dividends to Menasha on or after March 1st, 2024.
There's a motion and a second by Alderman Hammond. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, if we could have a roll call vote, please.
Motion carries 6-0.
Do we have a motion for item 3? Alderman Sevenick.
Thank you, Mayor. This came out of the Menasha Fire Rescue Joint Committee and was approved unanimously, and that is that we are requesting the 2023 radio communications from the CIP budget of $425,000 to be reallocated to purchase replacement radios for a cost not to exceed $360,000. Replacement of mobile data computer MDC for vehicles for a cost not to exceed $48,000. There's an error in there. And purchase a new used police vehicle at a cost not to exceed $12,000. The grand total of all of these purchases shall not exceed $420,000. These are because of this not being a budgeted item, I believe we need a 2/3 vote.
Is there a second? So motion and a second. I'll let you pick which one you want. If we could have a roll call vote then, please.
Ted's on the committee.
Motion carries 6-0.
Item number 4 is the Family Advantage Plan. Do we have a motion? Alderman Sevenick?
Oh, no.
Oh, anyone else? Alderman Grady?
Thank you, Mayor. This time I'd like to move to the council the recommendation to adopt a Family Advantage Health Plan as an alternative health care option for the employees effective starting January 1st of 2024.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Alderman Sevenick?
I really had to struggle a little bit with this one. Especially after we just gave the employees a large adjustment in their wages depending on their positions. And I just find this to be kind of corrupting in a way, because we're trying to piggyback off other insurance plans to save our own costs. And eventually this is going to be something everyone's going to be doing, and then at some point it'll be null and void. So I hope that in some way that we could have a, what do you call that, a sunset or on this for a certain period of time. And that I'd like to offer an amendment that this only be done for the next 4 years. And then be brought back for reconsideration.
Is there a second to the amendment? So the amendment dies due to lack of a second.
At least I took out my position on that, and that's really my point on this. I mean, I really think that regardless, we should be coming back and exploring these types of options. As the speaker talked about before, we might find ourselves in another situation where we're actually expending more money down the road. So, but anyways, I will vote for this. Not completely happy about it, as stated earlier why, but I'll leave it at that. I just had hoped that the council would at least reconsider it down the road, making sure that we're crossing our T's and dotting our I's in the future.
Is there any further discussion? Alderman Grady?
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you, Mayor. I understand your position, Alderman Sevenick, on this issue, but if you look at the savings that this can really give the city by people opting out of the insurance, it makes sense. And you know, per each person, it could be $15,000 or whatever. So within a year, you get 6, 7 people, you know, you're talking $100,000. And we're always scratching to find money. So I feel that this is a good benefit and something that the employees should be able to vote on if they want to do it or not do it. And maybe within 4 years, none of them want to do it anymore, so that it'll just dissolve itself. But I feel this is something that should be looked at, and hopefully they take advantage of this.
Alderman Stevenson.
I don't disagree with your points. My point is more long-term, looking at this. And I'd like to really see what our savings would be. You know, obviously, maybe the first or second year this would be. I'd also like to see who's benefiting and who's receiving the added dollars down the road. I think a spreadsheet would be real simple. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Seeing no further discussion, if we could have a roll call vote, please.
Motion carries 6-0.
Item number 5 is MOU with the Menasha School District. Do we have a motion? Alderman Grady.
Well, thank you, Mayor. At this time, I'd like to forward to the council the memorandum of understanding for the Menasha School District School Crossing Guard Program, along with the city of Menasha.
Is there a second? So motion and a second to approve the MOU for the Menasha Joint School District Crossing Guard Program. Any discussion? Seeing none, if we could have a roll call vote, please.
Motion carries 6-0.
Item I is action items. Do we have a motion for the accounts payable and payroll? Alderman Nichols.
Thank you, Mayor. Move to approve the accounts payable and payroll for the term of August 18th through August 31st, 2023, in the amount of $1,932,861.93.
Is there a second?
Second.
So motion and a second by Alderman Hammond. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, if we could have a roll call vote, please.
Motion carries 6-0.
Item 2 is a liquor license. Do we have a motion? Alderman Nichols.
Thank you, Mayor. Upon staff's recommendation, I move to approve the Class B and Class B liquor license for the remainder of the 2023 through 24 liquor licensing year for Awesome Sauce Sandry, LLC, doing business as Wilzke's Pub, Melissa Sandry, agent for the premise located at 528 Milwaukee Street.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second by Alderman Sevenick. Any discussion? Alderman Sevenick.
There were some questions earlier from the gallery, and I will say that the new owners are residents of the city of Menasha.
Seeing no further discussion, if we could have a roll call vote, please.
Motion carries 6-0.
Item K is ordinances and resolutions. The first item is Resolution 19. Do we have a motion? Alderman Nichols.
Thank you, Mayor. I move for the approval of Resolution 19, a resolution approving the City of Menasha's liability insurance renewal through Cities and Villages Mutual Insurance Company as introduced by Mayor Merkes and recommended by the Administration Committee.
There's a motion and a second by Alderman Hammond. Any discussion? Seeing none, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Motion carries 6-0.
Item number 2 is Ordinance 12. Do we have a motion? Alderman Grady.
Thank you, Mayor. At this time, I'd like to make the motion for Ordinance 12-23, an ordinance amending Title 10, Chapter 1, Section 10-155 of the Code of Ordinances, motor vehicles and traffic, school crossing guards, introduced by the Mayor Merkes, as recommended by the Personnel Committee.
There's a motion and a second by Alderman Nichols. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, if we could have a roll call vote, please.
Motion carries 6-0.
Item N is public comments. Are there any public comments?
Sandra DeVille Taylor, 545 Broad Street. That was like record time. Reminds me of my husband during the Labor Day parade, when council members went past. He thought maybe they should be throwing out rubber stamps. Anyhow, back to the agenda. I did want to comment, there was a communication regarding the announcement that the city has a new city planner, which is fabulous. I think it would be nice, at least for the council's benefit, to know how many people had actually applied, how many people were actually qualified for the position or had held that position at a different municipality prior to coming here, if they had the educational background and the training for that position. We seem to do this a lot with staff, and it is hard to find qualified people nowadays, but it seems as if we keep hiring people that have never done this position before, never had the experience before, but I'm assuming that they're getting the wage that was posted. Thank you. Have a good night.
Is there anyone else this evening? Seeing no one else, if we have,
I just want to, Mayor, if I could add, this was a quick meeting, but for the gallery or for the public, so that they know, is that most of this work was done in committee. So most of us already are familiar with, I should say we are completely familiar with what was happening this evening. And again, we'll be doing it again at 6:30 in 10 minutes, so for our next meeting. So if anyone from the public has questions, they can always contact their alderman, and it's on the website. With that, Mayor, seeing we have no further business other than our committee work following this, I'll move to adjourn.
so motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.
The City of Menasha is pleased to present video recordings of City Council and City Committee meetings. Menasha residents and interested parties can get information about city meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents from the city website, www.menashawi.gov. Expression of opinions regarding City of Menasha issues or about these broadcasts can be made by contacting the Mayor's office, 920-967-3608. Contacting their city alderman. Contact information appears on the city website. Or by completing the electronic feedback form on the city website. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited.